The heresy of the pure... Please open it. God damn it. Why does that happen? It's in here somewhere. The heresy of the pure blood. Pure blood. We know the expression. We heard it in the foul mouth of the heretics and the foreign barbarians. Used it sometimes ourselves. But do we really know what it means? A vampire born from an immortal belly. What a disgusting idea. How would such a creature find its place among the living? What would be its purpose? Ours is clear, gentlemen. Ascalon is here to protect the Empire and its citizens. We are the protectors and shepherds, even when sometimes sacrifice a sheep for our sustenance. Even when sometimes sacrifice a sheep. Alright. Whoever will be found guilty of succumbing to the desire of breeding immortal child shall be eradicated. From the Law of Ascalon by Lord Redgrave, founder. At this point, I feel like every single text document, I pause for a second there, because I'll have like a specific sentence that I'm like, is that just a... That's not right, right? Like, something's wrong there, right? And it's happening enough, it's happening often enough now that I'm feeling gaslighted. Excuse me, I'm supposed to use that place, so could you go away? Ooh, spooky. Ooh, what? It's poopy clouds you're putting everywhere. Ow. I take it she's what we just read about. Like the plague. Oh my god, that hurt me so much. Ah, make it stop. What the fuck? What the fuck? That's a thing now? Like hilariously damaging stuff? The fight was over. Did you see how fast my health was going down? I thought I was immune to plague. We back at it? Here I am spawning here again. Wow, I've died twice already. Not after the strongest start here. Let's get back to the... Trying to get to the HQ I saw. Is that where that is? Kind of, maybe. I don't know why I like doing that so much. Is that the same one? Pardon me. Ow. Stop melting, please. Does that fix it? Okay, so just healing once fixes it. Looks like. I'm surprised I can feed on people like that. Like, I can just feed on them and heal, which seems like something you wouldn't be able to do in that situation, honestly. Looking out for cool stuff. I'm guessing that's our hideout upstairs. It's one of the nicer looking ones. I wonder if that's just our house? If it is, I wonder if I'll find my, yep, Reid's mansion. New hideout. So this is my canonical, like, real bed. This whole time I've been sleeping at the hospital because I just couldn't get back here because of quarantine, I guess? Rich blood sample. Sturdy blood sample. 100 health instantly, 500 health instantly, then 300 over 15 seconds. These are massively different in prices, aren't they? Can I do this yet? Ooh. I mean, I'm not there yet, but I have 1 instead of 0 now. That means that the stuff is out there for me to get. Bag of junk. As far as I can tell, there's no reason not to dismantle those when you find them. Are these identical? Did it just make a new stack for some reason? Oh, a nice cigarette case probably stolen by Seymour Fishburne from one of his victims. It just has additional description based on the whole story context of how I got it. Hills. Although I'm so overflowed on these resources. We're actually doing quite well overall on most of these things now. Yeah. Where's fatigue? We have tons of all that stuff. People get fatigue a lot. Right, that's how it works. Everything on the left costs way less. So fatigue, cold, headache are no big deal. Migraine, bronchitis, and anemia are worse. Sepsis, pneumonia, and neuralgia are awful. That's why that's what caused the first time where I kind of got caught off guard by how I suddenly lost resources and ran out quickly when it seemed like I had so many of them, is because the purple versions are actually really expensive. And unfortunately, someone nearby needs sepsis treatment. It's just for stocking up a bit. Not the biggest problem. Are you ready yet? You are. The Lupar is ready. Ooh. 10% damage. I've been doing damage so far, so going even higher is not the worst. Switch to fire damage. Best used against beasts and vampires. Good for boss fights then. Switch to chemical damage. Best used against humans. Or just go general plus damage. Well, I don't even have the resources for this stuff, so let's go for this. I won't miss what it's made of, even if I do change later. Now this thing does 458 damage. What a scary ranged attack. That uses resources, of course. That's a key. Key to Aubrey Reid's office. My sister, right? The door is mysteriously closed. Yep.
Summer in France. Absolutely. Why not?
Has she lost it at this point?
Mother. Good evening.
Jonathan! Is it you? Where have you been, my prodigal son?
I'm right here, Mother. I'm finally home.
Yes, for this son of mine was dead and is alive again. He was lost and now found. But where is your sister? Where is Mary?
Mary? She is gone, Mother.
I know she's gone. The question is, when will she return as you have? I miss my grandson so much. It's been days since their last visit.
She's listed as an option, alarmingly. Where does she fit into all this? Ah. Right, she's from the West End. So we're 3 people deep. So yeah, this is our neighborhood. And it starts off in not a great place. Adds a little bit of additional weight to our decisions, because whatever we do in this particular area might affect our family.
Mother, do you know what's been going on in this area?
Not really. I don't go out much due to the epidemic, and when I do, I tend to get lost.
What do you mean you get lost? I hope you don't go outside alone.
Of course not. When I go out, your father always comes with me, but he leaves me there sometimes, and I have trouble finding the way back.
Have you returned to Whitechapel Cemetery since Mary's funeral?
I never want to go back to that awful place. Wait. I think I went back once. And you were there too. And Mary? No, that can't be true.
It was just a bad dream, Mother.
A nightmare, yes. Mary was so angry. I walked back home alone. If that kind policeman had not called Avery from the station, I don't know what would have happened.
Do you need anything, Mother? Can I help you?
I just want you to stay with me, Jonathan. Your room is ready. I asked Avery to make your bed.
I'll stay as long as I can, I promise. Do you need anything else?
Just one thing. Stop staring at me like that. As much as I love you, it breaks my heart to look at those empty and dead eyes.
Are you working on a new painting?
Not recently. I have trouble focusing on my subject and my mind quickly drifts. It's the same thing when I try to write poetry.
I recently met a talented painter with an excellent technique. I wish you two could meet. I'm sure you'd like her.
I'd be glad to meet her. What is her name? Is she famous? Is she dead too?
She's not famous, and her name is of no importance. And yes, she is also dead.
The important thing is, I hope you two get along. If she ever fancies meeting your mother, I'd be glad to welcome her into my home.
Why do you say Mary is visiting you, Mother? You know that's impossible.
Why should it be? Are you not standing in front of me right now? Why should it be any different with your sister?
But Mary really is dead, Mother.
Yes. And are you not dead too? Isn't your father dead? And my grandson? And my son-in-law? You're all gone. But you all still visit me from time to time.
But I'm not dead, Mother. I'm really here, talking to you, trying not to cry.
Oh, it breaks my heart to have to tell you this. But of course you're dead, my darling boy. Just look at you, as pale as my Mary.
Goodbye, Mother. Try to rest now.
Goodbye, son. Please come back soon.
There's an interesting one. So, she's not bothered by us coming back from the dead and being here because apparently she sees all of her dead family members all the time. Like, that's just a normal thing for her. But she probably doesn't actually see her other dead family members. She probably imagines it. I assume that this is an entire family of vampires, and that Mary and I were the weird exceptions. But she was already seeing the dead before that happened. Aubrey Reid's first letter. Reid Mansion, 4th of April, 1908. My dear and beloved John, when you receive this letter, you'll be 35 and I'll be long gone. I feel a little silly writing you this first letter when you won't read for a few years. I struggled for a long time about how best to write you this, until I remembered the puzzle and riddles I invented for you when you were a boy. Oh, how you love to solve those enigmas. Well, I found it would be a good idea to propose to you one final game. It will probably be less rewarding. No candies or exotic treasures for you to, if you decipher the game this time. But a greater treasure, perhaps. The truth. This is my only attempt for you to explain why I chose to leave my family without an explanation. If you want to know why, simply play my little game. It's really up to you, my son. Rest assured that I love you. I promise my family was and still is everything to me. I remember the first time I held you and your sister in my arms, my treasures, my jewels. To see you grow up, play and laugh, filled with heart and joy every time I went back to our home. I could have killed to protect you, my son, my daughter, my wife. But fate found me in the end, and I had to make a tough decision. The worst was to disappear without a word. I decided to do it anyway. And soon, I'll be gone for good. I don't ask for forgiveness, but for understanding. If you want to know more, all you need to do is remember how happy we were back in those days. If you want to find the message, think green grass and tall trees on sunny Sundays. From your affectionate father, Aubrey Reid.
I remember Sunday walks in the park.
Sunday walks in the park. So go to the park and I can find out why my father abandoned me? What a strange little fetch quest mini game to discover like past trauma. I was confused who Aubrey was because I'm like, is that... I thought it was a female name. I don't know anyone named Aubrey with a B. Actually, I think I may have heard of people named Aubrey with a B, but I think they were female. So I thought, I was like, no, my sister's named Mary, and I was about to like double check, like, what's my mother's name? But she's Emmeline. I'm like, Aubrey? The hell? I guess now we know. So I can't go in here, not even an icon. Same for you? Yep. It's my own house and I can't go in half the rooms. Well, I guess I still have a home, and I don't have to worry about her panicking and freaking out at seeing me being back. Unfortunately, it's because she may have lost her mind already. Reid Mansion, 8th of March 1908. My dear Avery, as I already told you several days ago, I may be forced to leave England, if only for a few months. While I'm away, and until my son comes back to London, I want you to take the best care of our house. I already made the entire necessary arrangements to have your wages increased and paid as long as you'll work. You promise me you'll protect my dear wife and serve her to the best of your ability. For that, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. If I am never to return, you are the only man I fully trust. Believe me, your most affectionate friend, Aubrey Reid. Avery Cork, so he's still alive. I was waiting for confirmation that he was alive. You see your mom on the list and you expect the person next to that to be your father. But no. There's a manservant named Avery, and I was wondering, because she was mentioned in the stories, but she talked about a bunch of different people in her stories, so I wasn't sure which ones were like actually alive and which ones were ghosts she imagines. I guess now we know. Oh, there he is. Very squeakily cleaning that mirror.
Good evening, Avery.
Mr. Jonathan? I can't believe my own eyes. Oh, it's a miracle. We all thought you were... Oh, sir, your poor sister. What a tragedy.
I know, Avery. I know about my sister's murder.
Miss Reid expected you to return to assist with the funeral, right up until the last minute. Where have you been, Mr. Jonathan? We needed you here.
How is my mother?
Not well, I'm afraid, sir. Miss Reid is very fragile since the police brought her back home.
The police? What happened?
Miss Reid was found walking in the streets. She kept saying she had spoken with her son and daughter. She's resting now.
Has she received appropriate medical care?
I'm taking care of Miss Reid myself. Hospitals are so overwhelmed by the epidemic that they can only accept patients infected by influenza.
Perhaps we could arrange a short trip. Somewhere sunny, like France. She has always been very fond of France. I think leaving London could do her good.
I'm afraid Miss Reid is too frail for the moment. Recently, she started going out at night without remembering it. I have to watch her carefully.
What is the situation in this part of town?
For a time, the West End seemed spared by the epidemic. But the situation is getting much worse.
Have you no relatives anywhere? I'll understand if you want to take a few days to see family.
Your father managed to guarantee my earnings as long as I take care of this house, sir. My sisters are dead, and I've never met my nephews. I'll stay, sir.
I'm sorry I could not be here for Mary's funeral.
Your mother was strong, sir, but your support would have been appreciated. Apart from the priest and I, no one else attended your sister's funeral.
To be present at the funeral with you both was my dearest wish, Avery. But I am sorry, I simply could not attend.
I would not dare to question your absence, Mr. Jonathan. All I can say is that we missed you a great deal during these difficult days.
Tell me the truth, Avery. Do you feel forced to stay here? Would you leave this house without the arrangement made by my father?
No, sir. I have nowhere else to go. And I promised your father I'd take care of his family as long as I live.
This house is dead, Avery. There is a curse on this family. You really should consider leaving.
If only you could have been here sooner or more often. Maybe this house would not be that empty. But you're here now, sir, so my task is not over.
You have served this family extremely well, Avery. Your support during these terrible times is much appreciated.
Then I will stay. All I ask is that you take care of my own funeral if I die before the end of the epidemic. No mass grave, please, sir.
Do you really think I don't take enough care of my mother, Avery?
Yes, I do, Mr. Jonathan.
You clearly have something more to say. Speak your mind, Avery.
I know you work hard to help the sick, but what will you do once the epidemic is over?
I really don't know. I have always enjoyed seeing new horizons. Once the epidemic is over, it would be nice to leave London for a while.
I understand, Mr. Jonathan. But you have to realize that your mother needs you. Your next departure could break her heart.
I found an old letter written by my father and addressed to me. Do you know anything about it, Avery?
Your father wanted me to give you this letter for your 35th birthday, but you left for the war, and the letter remained in his office until tonight.
I realize now you knew my father better than I did. Do you know why he left, Avery? Did he ever speak to you about his departure?
No, sir. Mr. Reid was not exactly forthcoming. Perhaps this letter will give you the information you require.
Goodbye, Avery. Please watch over my mother until I return.
Of course, Mr. Jonathan. But please return as soon as possible.
35th birthday. God damn. Yeah, I'd be a little concerned about dismissing him when we're talking about, like, my mother coming apart at the seams and being ready to die at any moment, presumably. Door's open. 35th birthday. That's a long time to hold on to a secret. How old was he when it was signed?
Hello again, Mother.
Jonathan, back already. Good, good. I was just about to go outside to find you. You shouldn't stay away for so long.
I had not even left the house yet. You're losing your mind.
Tell me, Mother, how are you? All alone in this big house with only Avery to take care of you.
I'm sad most of the time. Sad that you have left me here alone. Sad that you don't tell me when you come or go.
I'm so sorry, Mother. It wasn't supposed to be like this. I was coming home. I was home. London, the Thames, and then it happened.
What happened, Johnny?
I was attacked, Mother. And I've not been the same since.
The important thing is that you finally returned home. I was worried, you know. You were the last member of the family of whom I had no news. Even Mary comes more often than you.
Do you think Avery is right? Do you think I should take better care of you?
I don't blame you, but you abandoned me, son. A mother should not survive her children. It's unbearable to know you're not here anymore.
I wish I could stay here and take care of you. But I'm involved in some terrible things, and I don't want to put you in any danger.
You don't have to apologize to me, Johnny. Do you think I did not notice how much you have changed?
Have I changed that much, Mother? Am I still your son?
You are still, and you'll always be. Despite your pale skin, your bloody eyes, and that echoing sadness in your voice.
Father seems to have left me some documents. Some sort of treasure hunt game. Do you know anything about them?
No, Johnny. But your father always loved to write these little games for you when you were a boy. Don't you remember?
I remember now. He used to post me these riddles, as though they were sent by a mysterious games master. I'd spend weeks trying to decipher them.
Your father was always so proud each time you found the answer. He was not just the serious doer banker everybody thought he was.
I was proud too. How could I forget that?
The important thing is that you remember it now. I'll tell your father the next time I see him. He'll be so happy.
Could Father have conceived some sort of final game for me before he left?
I really can't say, Johnny. Perhaps you should talk with Avery about that. He was your father's confidant more than I.
Goodbye, Mother. Try to rest now.
Goodbye, son. Please come back soon.
It's such a strange sort of like half secret, the thing we got going on here, where she accepts me as her undead son and is not particularly alarmed about that, but she is completely unaware that I'm actually a vampire. That's not a detail that she's picked up on at all, and she's not aware of any of that. Also, it speaks to how much some people may or may not change when they become a vampire. The way that Mary was going to murder her. She was mesmerizing her own mother and was thinking of murdering her, which is like, why? Supposedly Mary visited even more than me and seemed to really care about her, so it's like a hell of a shift there. It kind of gives you the like open reign to just play this vampire character however the hell you want and attack people however much you want, or don't attack people however much you want. The only thing is that the guy's dialogue doesn't match up with that necessarily, but that could just be, I guess you can I think part of it is that you can read everything that he says is kind of like double meaning. You can either see it as him genuinely being bothered by the curse and not wanting to hurt anybody and so on, or you can see it as him desperately trying to cover for the fact that he's doing these things when he doesn't want to, but he can't stop himself. Or maybe he shamelessly does this stuff and doesn't care, but he just puts this stuff out as a front so people don't suspect him.